Mr. Wong Net Leong, Chairman of the NUS Board of Trustees, Madam Kay Kwok, Chair of the Yale-NUS Governing Board, Professor Rick Levin, President of Yale University, Professor Tan Cho Chuan, President of NUS, Professor Pericles Lewis, President of Yale-NUS College, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy to be back here to witness the groundbreaking for the Yale-NUS College complex. Last time I was here was for the groundbreaking of the university town. There was nothing except some grass and a machine to drill a hole in the ground. And today I'm back and that hole has blossomed into many structures. And I hope what we start today will blossom into something equally beautiful and equally significant. For us in Singapore, education is one of our biggest priorities. You know the mantra, we are a small country, no natural resources, succeed only by maximizing our human potential. And good education is essential for that and for assuring ourselves of good jobs. But more than that, education is an important pillar of our social mobility and a means for our people to achieve their aspirations. We are doing our utmost to provide every Singaporean a good education. We've built a core of dedicated, capable, well-trained teachers, principals, lecturers, vice-chancellors, presidents. We've provided them the facilities, the resources, and the authority to do their job. We've tried to recognize the different talents and the interests of our students and created a progressive and pragmatic education system, one which fosters wider values of lifelong education and self-improvement. Generally, I think the education system has done well. Certainly, by international comparisons, we do well in the rankings. On PISA, Program for International Student Assessment, which is done by OECD. On TIMSS, which does trends in international mathematics and science study. And if you look at the top universities in the world, Singaporeans are significantly overrepresented, even though these universities have national quotas for admission. And often you see as many Singaporeans there as you will from countries 30, 40, 50 times our size. The WEF Global Competitiveness Report ranks our higher education system as second in the world. But it's not just the universities. Our polytechnics and ITE too, the Institute of Technical Education, are highly regarded. Last year, Polytechnic and ITE students won 5 gold medals at the World Skills Competition in London. And this year, I see we are hosting the World Skills Competition here. And the graduates, whether ITE, poly, or university graduates, are highly sought after, and they get good jobs, and good jobs soon, which is quite a contrast to many other countries where graduates can be produced abundantly, but jobs, sadly, somewhat less so, leading to high youth unemployment and quite high graduate unemployment. Our system is not perfect. Parents and students are still stressed about tests and key examinations. Tuition has become a minor national obsession. But despite that, overall, I would say we're not doing too badly. But the demands on our education system are changing. It's a more complex and fast-moving world. In America, according to one estimate, 2/3 of students will, in their careers, go on to do work that has not yet been invented. This according to a New York Times article last year. Certainly, they will work for companies which nobody has dreamed up and which haven't started up yet. Technology is also revolutionizing the methods of instruction. If you go online, you get Coursera.org, you get KhanAcademy.org. MIT and Harvard is launching edX. The material is available, the means to convey it, impart it, assess it, and prove that you actually learned something, and you can refresh that information at your leisure and almost for free. And that's going to change the world. So students have not only just to absorb knowledge, but they have to learn to proactively seek, synthesize, and make sense of the information. and decide what information they need to look for in order to put the picture together. Therefore, we have to continue to improve our education system dramatically, continually, every year. We want to make every school a good school, especially the schools in our heartlands, so that every kid, whatever their background, whatever his parents' education, whichever school he goes to, can have his potential identified, built up, and transformed. We will strengthen our ITE and polytechnics so that students there also get a rigorous and well-rounded education, one which develops their interests and prepares them well for their careers and their future upgrading. And we will create multiple pathways of success, not just in academics, but also excellence in many other fields: arts, sports, dance, music, and so on. And we need, most of all, to nurture the students' character and values, and not just their knowledge and results. One important segment of this system is our universities. Every family in Singapore wants their child to get a degree. And if you look at the enrollment in our universities in the last generation, it's gone up 5-6 times. In 1980, only 5% of students went to publicly funded universities. Today, 27% do. And soon, we will be 30% going to the publicly funded universities. And that is just NUS, NTU, SMU, UNISIM, or SIM. Some courses funded. And it doesn't even count all those who pursue their degrees overseas or in the private education sector. And if you add those in, about half our young people in their 20s have university degrees of one kind or another. But for as many as make it to university, still more aspire to such a university education. Therefore, we've expanded and diversified our university sector. We started with NUS, then NTU, and then we built SMU, the Management University, and then we looked for a fourth university, and we built SUTD, or we are building SUTD, University of Technology and Design. We encourage international partnerships in niche areas, like the Yong Siew Toh Conservatory of Music, here at NUS with the Peabody Institute of Johns Hopkins. We have the Duke NUS Graduate Medical School, and that's between NUS and Duke University in North Carolina. And we have the Lee Kong Chian School of Medicine coming between NTU and Imperial College in London. But we will continue to enlarge our tertiary sector, not by doing more of the same, but by further diversifying the tertiary landscape to meet the students' wider interests and the society's changing and more diverse needs. NUS, NTU, and SMU each is different. Ditto SUTD, ditto SIT. Not quite a university yet, but headed in that direction. And we have Minister of State Lawrence Wong studying further new pathway to applied degrees, and we hope he'll come to some conclusion pretty soon. Yale-NUS College presents a new offering in this Singapore higher education landscape. It offers broad-based, multidisciplinary undergraduate curriculum, one which we hope will develop critical thinking, appreciation for complexity, communications, and leadership skills. One which will have an immersive residential college system, following the tradition of Yale, which is several hundred years old, Oxford, which is very, very old, and Cambridge, which is only a little bit younger. 800 years counting, to promote personal and intellectual growth. And a system which we hope will combine the best of East and West, that takes the best of U.S. liberal arts education from Yale, New Haven, adds NUS's distinctive Asian and global strengths, and adapts this mix to our different social and cultural contexts, and creates an experience which is more relevant to students from Singapore and from Asia, or most of whom will be from Singapore and Asia. This Yale-NUS College will give high-caliber students from Singapore another option to pursue a degree at home instead of going overseas. And we hope it will also attract top students from the region. And some of these, after graduation, we hope will have had happy memories and seen good opportunities and will strike roots in Singapore. Some may not, but even if they go home or go somewhere else, they will form a valuable network of friends of Singapore in their home countries and around the world. And the rest of our university system will also benefit from Yale-NUS because there will be innovative pedagogies, there will be learning approaches which will spread, and many more students will benefit. And even if other parts of the system are slow to pick up, students will pass the word, there will be competitive pressure, and Facebook will do its magic. Right. That's the way things change in the world nowadays. We've seen it with the Duke-NUS Graduate Medical School, who's only got a few students, but its novel teaching methods have catalyzed changes in the other medical schools, in the medical school in NUS and more broadly. This Yale-NUS College is a major venture for both sides. For Yale, it's the first new college to bear its name in 300 years. For Singapore, it's a new model of university education. Indeed, for Singaporeans too, it's a new kind of education exposure at university. Furthermore, it's one of its kind in the world. It's not a replica of Yale, but it's a bold effort to create something new and different. Therefore, it's not without risk. But we believe this is the right way forward, and the Singapore government is fully committed to the college's success, and I'm glad that Yale, especially under the president, Professor Levin, has also given and is continuing to give strong backing to the project. So I'm happy that Yale-NUS College has made such progress in a so short time since the launch, a little over a year ago. It has a strong leadership team under Professor Pericles Lewis, and already the college has recruited over 30 faculty from around the world, and many high-quality applicants, including several Singaporeans who are turning down overseas places in order to study in Singapore. The college has attracted strong community support from companies offering internships, from foundations offering scholarships, or sponsoring academic chairs, and from donors who are giving generously. And I'm confident that we can continue to build on this strong start and create a new model of academic excellence which will redound to the credit and the pride of both Yale and Singapore. So I wish the college every success. Go forth and achieve great things. Thank you.